Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I came across this quote that really resonated with me. It's called progress over perfection. And this hit home because, pharmacists, we're notorious for striving towards perfection. We never like to admit we're wrong. We never like to deviate from the process. And typically, we're very detail oriented, right? Like, I know that because I am a pharmacist and I managed many pharmacists across multiple jobs. So I know, right? Like, a lot of pharmacists, they are striving towards perfection, but the kind of downside of striving for perfection, and this applies to just every facet of life, is it's sometimes crippling because a lot of people, if they don't think they're going to have perfection, they're not going to try at all. And they're like paralyzed, they have analysis paralysis, and they don't take any action, right? So, in a weird way, by having an action that is um, imperfection in a way, right? Like it's like, okay, I have fear of failure. I'm not gonna try. I'm just gonna like not do anything because if I don't do anything, I'm not gonna fail. But in a weird way, that is failing, right? In a way, that's failing, right? Like just like in anything, like at your job, if you don't make a decision, that's a decision, right? If you say go left, go right, or stay put, if you don't do go left or right, you made a decision. You stay put, right? Like it's a decision in a way. So in any case, like for me, I'm so focused on like progress. Like, okay, are we one step ahead today than we were yesterday? If the answer is yes, then great, right? Like you can always tweak and course correct as you go because you can, like, believe me, like in real estate, I've done performance, right? Like, hey, like I'm gonna spend $300,000. I'm gonna rent the units. There's how much rent I'm gonna get. There's how much cash flow I'm gonna get. That's all like striving towards perfection, right? But like in reality, after owning multiple apartments for a couple of years now, I know that's not the case, right? Like, okay, I underwrote the deal day one. I'm gonna cash flow, $1,000 a month, and you take over the property, and two tenants leave. There you go. You just lost your cash flow, right? Or you take over the property and you have like three maintenance repairs for like new HVACs. There goes your cash flow, right? Or tenants stop paying and they trash a unit. There goes your cash flow, right? So like that's perfection, but reality is, are you progressing, right? So like, yeah, you're gonna take over a property and maybe tenants stop paying. Well, then you might have to start evicting them, right? And that's progress in a way. And then eventually you have to fix up the unit, maybe renovate it, raise it at higher rents, rent it out, and then there you go. That's progress. So for me, I just notice a lot of people, especially the more analytical people like myself, like healthcare people, engineers, math people, analytical, right? But like if you're overly analytical and it paralyzes you, it's not good either. Because that's basically means that you're just sitting there paralyzed, right? Like we all know those people where they just lurk for a long time talking about investing, but they don't invest ever, versus those who took action and over the time they could have made a lot of money, made a lot of mistakes, but made a lot of money at the same time, right? So it's really about progress over perfection. Like for me, what's the minimal viable product, right? So like that's MVP. What's your minimal viable product? Like how can I get this across so that it works? And then over time, I'm gonna course correct and improve over time. That's the most way to build wealth and to build success is you just get something out there, right? Because would I rather have imperfection today or perfection later? I'd rather have imperfection today, get something out, and then tweak it and improve it towards perfection. Because you can do all the planning you want, right? All the planning you want, at your job for your real estate performa, and once you implement it or once you buy the property, reality hits you, right? It's never gonna go as planned, right? Like how you thought it was gonna go and how it went, completely different, right? So like I'd rather just get that imperfection out there today, find out the reality, and then course correct as you go, learn a lot, and then pivot, right? Versus if I'm just planning, then I implement later. Well, I'm still probably gonna have mistakes I didn't anticipate for because you don't know what you don't know, right? And then at that point, you took longer to take action, right? So I've seen this so many times, right? Like when I first started off in like 2017, I used to like talk to other real estate investors to get to know them, and talk to a bunch, super excited, and then I'd follow up every year and like, oh, I still didn't buy real estate, still didn't buy real estate, versus I was consistently buying real estate over time, right? And then now, today, I own like 52 units and they still haven't bought their first piece of real estate yet, right? They just enjoyed talking about it. They didn't actually buy it, right? Like Like you can learn a lot from just buying a deal, and then maybe you get slapped in the face, you lose some money, and realize I don't like real estate. That's fine, right? Like at least you took action, you took the risk, you took the punch in the face, and it gave you clarity. Versus somebody who's on the sideline does nothing, then they never get clarity. Instead, they just sit on the sidelines and laugh at those who are taking action and failing, right? I'd rather be the one who gets laughed at failing, but I have a chance of learning, I have a chance of building wealth, and a chance of, being in the 1%, right? Essentially. So, like I just really want to create this video to inspire you to like focus on progress, not perfection, right? Like just get out there, take action. Most things don't require that much effort. Like I love my students in my mentorship program who are like more action oriented. Like, hey, like what's the next step I need to do? And they just take the next step, right? Like that's it. You just take one step at a time, and over time you realize how far you've come. Like for me, my whole journey, like I just took one step. Like, hey, I want to buy a house. Great, bought a house. Huh? I want to learn how to house hack. Okay. Posted a bunch of ads on Facebook Marketplace. People respond to me. I'll talk to them. Oh, I rented out one room. I rented out the second room. I rented out the third room. Huh? Bought a second house hack. Rented out the last house. Right? So it's very gradual. And then bought another house that I house hacked. I was like, huh? What's next? I own 3 rentals. I know how to manage tenants. Okay, let me try buying out of state. Bought out of state. Oh, found a property manager. Okay, that's not bad. And then now I'm like, okay, I own 4 single family homes. I want to buy an apartment complex now. So I basically watched a bunch of education on YouTube, joined a mentorship program, learned a system, and then implemented the system one step at a time. And then I got my 26 unit apartment complex. I got a 20 unit apartment complex. I got my mobile home park, right? And then I was like, okay, well, after owning a mobile home park for like 2 years, like I don't like this. I sold it. So I went through my first sale process. My 20 unit, it was a value add. I had a hard money loan, my first hard money loan. Now I cash out refinance it, right? And I renovated a bunch of units. And once again, renovating 20 units seems intimidating, or 46 units sounds intimidating, but it was just one at a time. I renovated one unit, say, huh, I like this, how I renovated this unit. I like how it looked. I like the costs. I got all that input from my property manager. Now you just copy and paste to all 46 units, right? So everything can be broken down to one step at a time, right? So that's what's beautiful about if you're already creative problem solving, you can do it yourself, right? Or those you might need a coach, or those might need a mentorship, and people can benefit from that. If that's you and you want to go from single family to multifamily, check out the link down below for the mentorship program. You can consider joining, right? Because I can help give you the next step that you need to take and break it down for you. It's not as hard as you think, right? Or if you're very self-directed, there's a lot of free education out there. My channel on YouTube, you just need to know what your next step is, and it's just one step at a time, and you're making progress towards the goal, right? Don't strive for perfection. Like, you're not gonna buy a 26 unit apartment complex and be perfect. Like, remember when we first learned how to walk? Like, how many times did we fall when we tried to learn to walk? The matter is just getting up, right? And that's what I mean. Like, I know a lot of people. I'm 34 now, and I remember my friends in high school. Like, a lot of them haven't changed since high school. Like, they're the same exact person in high school, haven't changed. Same person. They never push themselves. They never left their comfort zone. They fear failure. They haven't progressed at all, right? And I look back, what is that? 16 years later, like I've improved so much. Like I'm unrecognizable compared to how I was in high school, right? Like in terms of mindset, in terms of the wealth I built, in terms of my W-2, right? Even like my classmates in pharmacy school, like they're like, oh, you're just like kind of this quiet guy in the back that didn't really stand out. But now, like, I became a pharmacy leader at a young age. I've built a large net worth. I own a bunch of real estate while doing full time, right? Like, and all it was is I took one step at a time consistently, right? One little step at a time to better myself and put myself out there out of my comfort zone. Like, even doing YouTube, like, I hate attention, right? Like, I literally hate attention, but I love to teach people, right? And I had no outlet to teach, and YouTube's a great outlet. So now I just create one video at a time, and if it goes viral, great. If it doesn't, well, as long as a couple people learned, or worst case, I can send this to my future kids and say, hey, learn, watch this video and learn, right? And or for me, I can self-reflect and see how I've grown as a person, right? So like that's really it, one step at a time. Like, well, I just record on my phone and press upload. That's literally it, and slowly improve over time, 1% at a time, and over time that compounds, right? That's how you go with your skill set. Your skills compound over time. Your wealth compounds over time, right? So the key is progress over perfection. So please remember that. So if you're focused on progress now, and don't care for perfection, consider joining the mentorship program. I can help guide you. Otherwise, let me know if any comments or questions below. Let me learn if you learned something from this video, and share this video. Thank you so much.